going to hear about today is nothing short of a miracle. It's dramatically new. Much of this material has been described as an illustrated, detailed course in horror of perversion.
Seth here from Planet Radio 106.7, your host of the Louisiana Loud Hour, hanging out with the gentleman from Vermilion Whiskey. How's it going, guys?
What's happening? Hanging.
We're at the Chris Logan Media Studios here.
Does my voice sound sexy?
Yes, it actually does. It always does. I prefer TJ's over yours.
Yeah,
but
I don't sing. You don't want that.
That's why he's the singer.
Intimate setting here.
Here at Chris Logan Media Studios in Church Point, Louisiana. And like I said, hanging out with the guys from Vermilion Whiskey.
Church Point. We had the Point player.
Church Point.
Just doing the thing, right?
Eating fried ribs in the Bougie Express, going to Chris Logan's over there.
You guys had the Get Down last weekend out at Feed and Seed, and beautiful night. I mean, the weather held up for us to actually.
It was
Keel ball.
It was.
That's how you sum that up.
It was characteristic of a Louisiana spring day. You weren't sure if it was going to rain or not, but it all held out, and everybody got to get their belly full of boiled crawfish and a lot of good music.
Damn good bowl of crawfish.
Oh yeah! Shout out to my boy Jed and Eunice.
Yeah.
Hooking up them crawfish. I see you back on the rig, boy.
He showed up with a LSU shirt and said he was from Eunice. I was like, we all right.
Two other people said the same thing.
Yep.
It was like, man, I was worried about this crawfish, but that old boy from Eunice, with that LSU shirt, check him out.
Heard him talking about being offshore. I was like, oh yeah, the crawfish would be good.
That's where I met him. I worked with him offshore on the rig.
Oh yeah.
Good deal.
It was a great show, man. I mean, there's a lot of faces that were absent in the crowd that we thought would have been there, but I mean, you know how it is. It happens.
Well, yeah, but still, nonetheless, it was a great show. If they missed it, they should have been there.
Shout out to all the people that came. You're gonna be in the music video for our new track called "The Get Down." Yeah. That's what it was all about. We got the crawfish ball. We rocked out, man.
Yeah, and Fort Nitrous, Cheetah Pipe, and Electric Age all doing their thing as well on that show.
Oh, them boys. If y'all don't know who Cheetah Pipe, Fort Nitrous, or Electric Age, you messing up, man.
Get on that. Get some of that Cheetah Pipe in your life.
Oh, yeah. They from the Lafayette.
They're from where I'm from. They're from that Bridge.
Oh, yeah.
So
don't mess around with that.
Exactly. So we talked a little bit about, at the beginning of the show, Planet Radio, obviously, and you guys have been,
we all from Acadiana. People that don't know Planet Radio, we grew up on Planet Radio. It came out, I was probably in, 6th grade. Maybe I was in junior high. I don't know, but I had the Planet Radio T-shirt.
Elementary, middle school.
Right, that's all of us started. Heard Silverchair. I was talking to the guys. That's when I first heard 311.
Right.
All this stuff back then. And I remember the first concert they had was at UL on campus. Mm-hmm. I was there. It's probably one of the first concerts I went to, actually.
My first concert was Wayne Tubes. Pretty sure.
Before
Planet Radio was Planet Radio, it was Wayne Radio. So I'm just saying,
was it Jackal at the Cajun News?
Nice.
So those that don't know, Planet Radio went away.
Yeah.
And I forget what year, and it just was a classic rock then.
Don't make me cry, Ross.
I know, but Planet Radio is back, man.
Hey, it's back, baby.
Back on the airwaves, online.
I stayed with the radio on when I slept. As a teenager,
and I was jamming on my way to New Iberia to get my hair cut the other day.
Planet Radio.
And I was jamming to some Weezer on Planet Radio. Man, you should have heard me sing. Actually, you probably shouldn't have heard it.
I heard Korn and Limp Bizkit practically back to back last night. It was like, okay.
So shout out to Planet Radio for letting us come use their studio. And
thank you guys.
Shoot this podcast.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm thankful that you guys wanted to have me a part of this and do this podcast because I think it's just really cool. This is something that a lot of bands don't necessarily take the advantage of, and kind of gets the introspective look about the album before it's released. Obviously, the Get Down was the local release, and the album comes out a little bit later on, and you guys are going to be out in Texas, correct, for when it actually releases?
Yep. So Crimson and Stone comes out May 26th. We're going to be in Houston with our partners over there. Shout out to our boys.
Social Club.
Yeah. Shout out to our boys in Choke and Mr. Plow. Oh, yeah, we're going to throw down, and then we're throwing down in Austin. Anyway, anytime we can get back to Texas, that's what we try to do.
Yeah, and the The Texas experience is really unique. I mean, we all have our love and our appreciation for our local scene here, but Texas is a little bit of a different animal when it comes to how they respond to.
You know how we roll down here, but we always pass a good time in Texas too, man. Oh,
yeah.
So they love us out there. We got a lot of good friends out there, good people out there in Texas.
Texas has been real good to us through the years. So it's so big. They got a great scene over there. So we try to get back every time we can. And they like to party with these Cajun boys.
And those same people that we messed with, you know, back in the day. When we were, you know, I say back in the day, years ago when we were first going out that way. You know, they're still messing with us.
Right,
for good reason, you know. And whenever we had a hiatus and all that, you know, we came back and they're still, hey, we want y'all, like nothing ever happened. So.
Yeah, and, you know, you mentioned the hiatus. You know, this is the third album from Vermilion Whiskey. Crimson and Stone is the third record, and
each one gets better.
I was about to say they just keep getting bigger, like thicker, better, just the sound. Ross, how do you come up with the tone that you get from all of this? Because like
got time for that.
Yeah, that is true. But I mean, the tonality from one album to the next has just become bigger and bigger. So
I'd say definitely Orange Amps. That's always the big one. Shout out to Orange.
Yeah,
hook a brother up.
Reverend Guitars.
Yeah, I sponsor y'all. And then I am the Reverend Brown.
Right.
I'm so stoked to be playing Reverend guitars. I got the cap on.
Sure.
And oh yeah, I love my Reverends.
He's wearing Reverend draws right now. You can't see it, but
you can't see him. But
great U.S. company. I love the guys at Reverend. They've been so great. So just between them and their pickups and oranges. I mean, I might have a crazy pedal board, but honestly, it's just orange.
Yes, Pete.
It's just orange and Reverend guitars, man.
Good deal. All right. Well, TJ, on this album, you know, vocally, I think also kind of experienced a little bit more of a dynamic range compared to the other two.
Yeah, it's changed a little bit.
What did you decide to do with Crimson and Stone over the last one? I mean, was that part of the recording process and going in and?
Well, all the songs are, aside from one of them, is I'm playing guitar.
Right.
You know? Yeah. I stepped up to the plate and we need a guitar player. I started playing guitar, fell into doing vocals, and I've helped write riffs for some of the other albums too. And it's good to actually be able to play them and sing them.
Right.
So it changed a little bit, dynamic change as far as, you know, because playing and singing versus just singing is a whole different ballgame.
Right. Yeah.
Not necessarily better, not necessarily worse, just different. And I try to do it justice, you know, and not fall off, not. You know,
well, you've always had a commanding stage presence beforehand, and I think with the guitar, everything like this band now with everybody, like the unit that you've all become has all fallen into. And I know there was some uncertainty at one point of whether or not this album was even going to be made.
Yeah, and this is where it needs to be. I feel like this is,
and
we all feel like this is the lineup we're meant to have.
Yeah, I was going to say all the pieces fell into place. Like definitely. I know Ross talking to you a little bit about. Like I said, the uncertainty of this album and if it was going to be made or not.
Yeah,
you were on a hunt. You were looking for members, and
yeah. Well, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
It's been a journey, to say the least. So our last album, Spirit of Tradition, was released in 2017. And then 2018, we played like one of the best shows we ever played.
Biggest show of our career as far as the band.
With Crowbar.
Right.
Shout out to the guys in Crowbar for having our backs. We played a show with them at Southport for their
20th anniversary of the Oddfellows Rest album.
Yeah, at Southport, I don't know, 600-700 people, man. It was just, I get goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah.
You know, you hear that, you know, you go to a show and like, I never experienced it as a musician on stage, you know, where you're getting on stage and like the venue's pretty quiet, everybody's talking, and then, you know, my bad, like everything's loud, everybody's
that
talking.
Chatter, yeah,
everything kind of like simmers down, and it's like get the energy in the room just come when we get on stage.
Definitely had the frissons. It was
ball. It was crazy.
Big time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we played that show, and then it wasn't shortly after that we had some drama in the band. Which
I got off stage and cried after that show. I went in the back and cried. Yeah. I swear.
I mean, it's an experience. I mean,
it was cool. But yeah,
there was a lot of drama within the band, which, you know, anybody who's been in the band knows it's, you know, it's a brotherhood.
Right.
Sometimes you don't agree on stuff, you know, so things ended up hitting the fan, and our drummer left, our bass player quit the same day, and then not shortly after, our guitar player Carl, who's been with the band since the very beginning, he decided to bow out to pursue other things in life. So that's cool, you know. And then it was, you know, soul searching. Do we want to keep this going? It was just me and TJ left, you know, left in the band, and then actually like through all the drama me and TJ have been through in the years, like just butting heads. It's funny that me and him stuck it through to the end.
And honestly, full disclosure, dude, part of the reason why those guys left supposedly was because me and Ross were arguing so much back and forth, butting heads. Well, we were the only two left.
But like you talked about, the brotherhood, the brethren, like brothers don't always get along, and
because we're the most passionate about the whole damn thing.
Yeah, and I was about to say, you guys both have taken hold of this project, Vermilion Whiskey itself, and just
into it,
and put everything into it. So
I took like a year off, just like needed a break.
Don't touch me,
you know, like just trying to think of what I wanted to do, and then ultimately like, I'm gonna write music. It's what I do. Like anytime I pick up the guitar, I write music. It's just me.
Right. We worked really hard to get where we were. We built a brand and a name for ourselves. We still had thousands of dollars worth of merchandise. What are you gonna do? Just throw it away?
Yeah, right. So I remember the day I went to TJ's house. I sat down on the couch. We talked about it. Say, hey, are we doing this? Like, let's decide right now. Line in the sand. Are we doing this?
All in, bro.
And we said we're doing it. So, hey, we started writing a record. We didn't have a drummer. So that was difficult. You know, we went through a few guys around town. We just couldn't find the right person, who had the right groove we wanted. And then in that time, we found Mr. Jason Deku on the bass.
The Dragon Claw.
Oh man, I love this guy.
Jason, how did you end up? How did you end up just coming into the fold? And what was your first experience with these two? Like you said, like they mentioned already that they were kind of button heads. Yeah. So,
well, I've known these guys just from playing with them in other bands over the years.
Right.
Yeah. Like my previous project's first show, I think was his first show.
Yeah, I was in
Artemis.
Yeah, I was in a band called Artemis, a death metal band. We played at Sadie's.
And I was in a band called Really Really.
Okay, I remember that
shows
band.
Together, and that's when I first met him.
We played with VW.
Back at Bisbanos. Shout out to Bisbanos.
Yeah, man.
R.I.P. Bisbanos.
So I've always been a fan. It was, like, no lie, the one band that sticks out in the mind the most that I've played shows with over the years that I was always like, man, I wish I was the bass player. They have so much fun, you know, like I could really hear.
The energy resonated with you.
Yeah. But I was busy, you know, committed to that project, and just the stars lined up to where one thing stopped being my project, and I took some time off, and then eventually Ross hit me up a couple times. You know, I'd see him out in the wild at a show, and
he already had my vote.
I don't know.
I was like, oh yeah, he'd be perfect.
Started going to the Boom Boom Room for the jam nights,
right?
And started jamming with TJ on guitar, and eventually he twisted my arm the right way. And
he heard them riffs, boy. You knew it was up.
Little did I know he was jamming one of our tracks, Dissonance, I think.
Yeah.
And, you know, just feeling it out, you know, and I guess that was the tryout.
He was like, oh, yeah, dude.
And because it was kind of funny because I show up to practice and it was like, whoa, I know this one.
Sounds brilliant. Yeah. I thought it was just off the cuff with this.
So you brought something up that totally is kind of spontaneous here, but I want to talk about the importance of like those jam sessions that we have communally here, like with Stoner Rock Jam on Wednesday nights at Freetown Boom Boom Room. How important is that for the community to actually have? Like, is it that melting pot that really kind of makes bands come together?
There have been bands formed out of that.
Yeah, I know there is. So
you know,
Sex Lord.
Yep.
Sex Lord.
Right. Yeah.
It's about the riff, man.
Nick Harvey and them boys. You know.
Yeah.
Oh man. Rest in peace, Old English.
Yeah, rest in peace, Old E.
It's a good way to not only keep your chops up, but to get people the opportunity who don't have this gear at home because they provide the back line. You don't have to guitar, you just got to show up.
Yeah.
And if anybody plays drums and wants to show up on Wednesday night, we'd love to.
And that's the best thing too. Younger cats that don't have all that stuff, right? You know, we've seen a lot more of that. Younger guys who want to jam out. Who don't have those resources or a place to get loud,
right?
You know, or a place to have a full PA and everything else. I mean, you could come and play on Or Jams.
I mean, it's kind of like a singles bar for musicians.
Yeah,
I'm just here to hook up. Let's.
I mean, it's a little different than it used to be. It's changed a little bit, you know, and it's hit or miss. Sometimes people show up, sometimes people don't.
Right.
but it's still there.
Right.
It's not going anywhere. It's a good tool to use to be able to just
see what happens.
Yeah, and man, it's really awesome just to be able to jam with different people every once in a while, you know?
Yeah.
Nothing against these guys or anything. Like, it's just good to just get a fresh perspective and jam with other people and play something a little different. And it's not necessarily just stoner music either. We're going to play a little thrash metal or something here and there and just different stuff.
Good, yeah. So, you know, switching back to the actual band itself, you had an experience where, and Ross, me and you and I had conversations about what your ideas and your kind of like perspective as to what you wanted to do to record Crimson and Stone and trying to recruit a new drummer.
Yeah, the drummer was hard to find. We played with a lot of people, and we just couldn't find somebody that had that groove, man. Because this, you know, our music is just all about groove.
Which Wade's holding it down for you guys big time.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Wade.
Man.
Yeah.
But he came later.
Right.
So when it came time to find a drummer, I told TJ this from the start. I was like, hey, let's get Tommy Buckley or Crowbar in this. And he was like,
you think he'll do it? Like, hey, we give it a shot, ask him. You know?
And we kept trying out people, and it was just brutal trying to write a record without a drummer, for one. You know, because it's all about groove. How are you going to write without it? So a lot of it was really tough to do. So we hit up our buddy Patrick Mushmesh. That's how you say his name, right?
Mushmesh.
Yeah, PM Star Promotions. He does all of our merch. He is,
you know, for somebody,
the man.
I'm going to say this right now about Pat. For somebody from New Iberia, he has one of the hardest last names to say in this area.
But he's in real tight with
Yeah.
Crowbar. He does a lot of their merch. A lot of the people in the
Crowbar,
scene.
Goat Whore.
You know, I knew Tommy. We had met a few times. He's been to some VW shows. We've kind of bumped elbows in the scene.
We opened for them, you know, for
That's
that
true.
show. And
we opened for him. So, you know, Patrick hit him up personally. He got his number, and then he's old school, right? So we mailed him a CD. Right, that's what Tommy does. He has a Walkman.
He's got several Walkmans.
He's got several Walkmans.
In the plastic,
if you have a Walkman
brand
for sale,
new, if one busts, he's got another one on deck ready to rock.
So we sent him a demo.
That's awesome. That's great.
We sent him a demo with like some live recordings with some different drummers we had rehearsed with, and so just sent him the record, and then it didn't take long. He hit us back, and he was real excited he saw the promise in the songs, you know, so that was real exciting, talking to him on the phone, which is always interesting, talking to Tommy on the phone. If I call Tommy, I better have an hour to talk.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tommy. We love you, man.
Yeah.
And so we scheduled our first rehearsal, which was in Crowbar's rehearsal studio, which is attached to OCD Studios, where we recorded the record. Shout out to Dwayne at OCD Studios, man.
A few other bands rehearsing there, man. It was a cool spot.
So we showed up and jammed the first time, and then Tommy, you know, he did his homework. He just listened to the record on his Walkman. We showed in, we plugged in the amps. We just played the record.
Right.
We didn't stop. There was no, how does this part go? The dude just played it.
Just front to back, it made me feel like I hadn't practiced enough. To be honest, I was like, wow, okay.
Absolutely.
Like within like half a bar, I was like, okay, this is real.
This is really happening.
Yeah, this is A game right here. It was.
He has so much
refreshing.
power.
He's a total pro.
So much power and just power and precision and groove all day.
I never had played with a drummer that had that groove. You know, no offense to other guys, but I mean Tommy Buckley is a legend.
Tommy is a legend, and
Solent fucking green.
Yeah, and the fact
all I'm
that
gonna say about that.
Yeah, and the fact that you were able to just kind of, I mean, I remember whenever you told me, you were like, "Hey, so I'm gonna try to get Tommy Buckley to play on this album," and I was like, "Yeah, good luck." Yeah. I was like, "Okay," I was like, "All right, we'll see if it happens." And it wasn't that I didn't believe you; it was just I knew that was a tall mountain to climb because of how.
Well, he doesn't do that.
I was about to say how reserved Tommy is when it comes to what he likes to do.
And I think a lot of that had to do with Patrick, like vouching for us.
Right.
And, you know, he knew who we were.
Yeah, he's heard us before. He's seen us before. He knows how we roll. He knows the kind of people we are. And so it just kind of made it easy for him.
Out of more than any of that, it was the music.
Yeah.
That's what speaks for itself. When he heard the music, that's what got
there's
him
paid
in.
gigs, you know, and what I'm saying, but it was genuinely more than that for him, you know.
Yeah, he heard something that was very promising in the album, and he jumped on it.
Stoked to be a part of it, genuinely.
So
he's wearing the T-shirt you know, rocking that shit with pride, dude, everywhere, and it's awesome.
Something that's coming out for our fans and stuff is I recorded all those practice sessions with Tommy. Like, so we went to New Orleans 4 times and rehearsed with him, and I got all that on camera. So it's really cool to see like the record come together, like, you know, all the flubs and all the whatever to prep up to the studio. So like we rehearsed 4 times with Tommy, just, you know, on a Saturday afternoon, whatever. We just drove, you know, down 90, down the swamp.
Got some
over
giant
there.
pizza.
Oh,
those pizzas look delicious.
Shout out to Fat Boys Pizza in New Orleans.
Those little videos.
30-inch pizza, son.
Couldn't even fit through the door.
30 inches. That's a 15-inch slice, player.
Man.
Barely fit through the door. It's like they said, okay, the door jamb is this big.
They had 2 women take that thing out of the back of an SUV to bring it to the door.
That sounds like something else. Like sounds like an episode of something else you were filming. But anyways.
So we got those videos coming.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
That was cool, and then we booked the studio.
Yeah, and so you guys recorded out at OCD Studios is it New Orleans or is it Metairie?
It's Metairie.
It's Metairie? Okay, well, you know.
Dwayne Semino.
That's where we track the drums.
The mastermind. And actually, like, the funny thing is, like, I wanted to record drums there anyway.
Right.
Like, that was already the plan. Whatever drummer we found, I was going to New Orleans to record drums, just because he's the man. Like, when it comes to drum sound, you listen to any Crowbar record that he's done Down, he's done Exhorter, man. So not only did we get the studio, we got the drummer, we got the drum kit,
and they
got the
together.
producer.
Like, they're like,
you know, they've already recorded a bunch of records together, so like they already had the drum sound down, but he still tried to not make it sound like Crowbar's drums.
Yeah, because sometimes you have that sound, you know what I'm saying, that you can kind of hear it. I know personally, like, I can tell where something was recorded, and people go, "Wait, you can tell that?" And like,
he had a dedicated ride symbol. He was like, "This is the Vermilion whiskey ride."
Yeah,
symbol.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
So
they don't like it in Crowbar. He's just for Vermilion. Hell yeah!
So that was super cool that we got to, you know, get all that package with Tommy, and you know, it was a paid gig, you know, but once we started rehearsing, he was like, "Man, I don't want any money. This is fun.
Right.
Y'all are awesome. Like, I just want to do this." But, you know, the dude put so much time and effort into practicing.
Did his homework.
You know, and writing. You know, some of the drum parts were somewhat written, but he wrote majority of everything. He just took everything and just tightened it up, man.
He put his stank on it for sure.
Oh, it's stanky.
So,
talk about the Get Down earlier.
Yeah.
Like, what, Malika, is that her name?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So on the Get Down, we have like a crowd vocal.
Okay.
Right, that were recorded at the Boom Boom. We had a bunch of our friends come down. And we did a
Chorus
crowd
part.
vocal, and Malika was there. She was part of it. And I remember the first time she heard the song, she was like, "Man, y'all really put your foot all up in that." We got to put that in the video.
Oh yeah.
We got to put that in the video.
That's my girl. She's my homegirl, man.
In the intro.
We can get her.
well,
Record something.
Passing a good time out there at the Get Down.
Shit, that's awesome.
Told you. You can feel it when good people gotta roll. Passing a good time out there at the Get Down.
you mentioned that y'all practiced with Tommy 4 times. How many sessions did y'all do at OCD?
So that was 4 rehearsals. When we booked the studio, we booked a weekend.
Okay.
So we went Friday, we set up the gear, we got sound checks, and then we went go party down at the Twisted Lime like we normally do.
All right.
Shout out.
Bean shots.
There we go.
Shots.
Sean, Iris, Candy, all our good friends over there.
And then so we recorded Saturday and Sunday. We gave ourselves enough time just to not, you know, stress ourselves out.
Right.
And we recorded half the album Saturday and half the album Sunday.
So 2 days of just going in,
Just
recording
did the
it,
drums. That's it.
Yep.
So
Okay.
we laid down the drum tracks with Tommy, and then we went back to my home studio.
Gotcha.
And then we recorded, you know, all the strings, bass, vocals, and then sent everything back to Dwayne, and he mixed the record. And man, did he mix it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a great job.
It is a very full record. It is.
And it's exactly that. It's a record.
Yeah.
That's something, you know, I wanted to do on the last record, but we couldn't afford it. So this was a big gamble for us. We got 300 records.
And it was always written as a record too.
Yeah, exactly.
We wrote it knowing that we wanted it on vinyl from the jump.
Yeah, when we wrote it, it was time-wise, everything was made to
be listened to. We wrote an A-side and a B-side.
Yeah, right. It was made to listen to as a whole.
The A-side is, we've always said it's kind of what you expect to hear from Vermilion Whiskey moving forward after everything that's happened, you know? And then it's like, okay, cool. And then you flip that sumbitch.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh.
It's wide open.
Shit.
Yeah, it's wide open.
The B-side is different. You know, like you said, the A-side is what people would expect. It's great. I love the A-side too, but don't get me wrong, but the B-side, we go into some other stuff. One of TJ's songs that he wrote along with this interlude piece of music that I wrote many years ago. Trying to figure out how to arrange it, and finally all came together into like a 10-minute song.
10-minute long
10-minute
opus,
song.
and it's just epic as shit.
Yeah.
It's made, and that's the thing about the record, you know, it's 10 minutes. It's meant to play through, right? So it's so different than what we've done in the past. And it was a big gamble because at 10 minutes, that's like a quarter of the record, you know.
Yeah, I mean, especially on vinyl. Yeah, it's about a quarter of the record. You're right. So
I'm really interested to get feedback from, you know, our fans and potential new fans who hear this song. Like, I think some, that's going to be their favorite song. I can't wait to see what the feedback is.
I'm stoked to see what everybody's favorite's going to be. I can't pick one, to be honest with you. I really can't.
I love it all. And it's weird because, like, the other records we've done, you know, like, I go back and I listen, and I'm still super proud of them, you know. But when I listen to it, I'm thinking about, you know, all this and that. Like, when I listen to this, like, it's something I want to listen to, you know. Like, we're really proud of the music on this record. We really focused on songwriting on this record.
And really the album Crimson and Stone itself, like I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, it is definitely up there. And really this year it's one of my favorite records. Like, period. Like, not just like locally. Like, it's one of my favorite records so far that has been released. And I know we're only in the month of April, but I think this is definitely going to be one of those albums that at the end of the year I'm going to be like, oh yeah, hands down.
We think
fucking
so,
Vermilion Whiskey.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we broad many different genres. Like, we're not a metal band. We're even not really a stoner rock band. It's just kind of that's where we fit in mostly, you know? So the big thing is just getting it out. I think once people hear it, they'll see what we're about. You know, it's so hard these days to get music out. There's so much media out there.
We like to write music, and just whatever comes out, comes out. We don't want to be pigeonholed to any kind of specific genre or fan base or anything. Like, we want to write music that feels good to play.
Right.
Feels good to, you know, to see people rocking out to, head banging, whatever. You know, if you want to take a nap, cool. If you want to head bang and throw a mosh pit, cool, even better, whatever. You know, there's something for everybody.
What was that you said about your mama?
Oh yeah, if your mama don't like it, your record's trash. No,
my mom told me yesterday how much. Actually, when we left the house, my mom was there, and
she was telling me, "Oh, his record sounds great. I love it. It sounds really good." I was like, "You see, your mama likes it. If your mama like, you know, you're doing something right."
Oh yeah.
My mom said she likes it. You know, she
Jason's
told me the other day she's proud of me.
Our biggest fan.
Oh, Mama's proud. She tells everybody.
Yeah.
Ask her, he's in Vermilion Whiskey. You heard of Vermilion Whiskey? Oh, they playing over at the Feed and Seed for the Get Down.
My mom gets on these like forums and stuff where they listen to music and talk about it or whatever and chat. And she actually met this guy from Australia.
That's awesome.
Wanted to put our music out there in Australia on some kind of radio or something out there. So
nice.
Very cool.
We're gonna be spinning out there at some point.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Really cool.
Worldwide.
So
that's my son. That's my son.
Worldwide.
As Herman would say.
Well, we talked about the you know, you've got 300 pressings of the vinyl. We actually did mention you know, where you got that done. You got it locally done, correct?
Yeah, New Orleans. So New Orleans Record Press. Shout out to them. They were great. You know, I was looking around trying to find the right record plant, and a lot of places wouldn't even take new customers. And then I found out about New Orleans Record Press from my partner over at Ben Michon, Big Frank, Fort Magnitris, Chemical City Rebels. That's how I found out, because they pressed Chemical City Rebels
Yes.
album over there. And then come to find out, Radiant Knife, local band in Lafayette, and they got a new record coming out. Really stoked about that. So we went to New Orleans Record Press. We got a little tour of the facility. It was immediately like, these are the guys who need to do this. On that. So yeah, they did it. It was awesome. We could do it right here in Louisiana.
Go pick them up instead of having to ship them, which costs a lot of extra money.
And it does.
And it's fun to always make a little trip and go. Hey, we're gonna go grab our 300 vinyl albums, man, from New Orleans, and
this was a big milestone for us.
Yeah, and there's 5 colors, correct?
That's right. So we got the black, and then the album's called Crimson and Stone, right? So we have a crimson color, which is what New Orleans Records Press calls the Phoenix,
right?
Which was very symbolic to us.
Purple in there,
coming out from the ashes, rebranding our music, and then we have the Phoenix, which is not the Phoenix, the Stone. I'm sorry,
Café au lait.
Yeah, and then this is what they call the Candy Cane.
Okay.
So this is like limited edition. This is the signed copy. So we got together with Tommy. He signed this.
Beautiful.
We got a beautiful merch package.
Little extras in there, little
stickers and
guitar picks.
Yeah. And this is what we're calling the European version.
Gotcha.
So we hooked up with a record label out in Germany, Cosmic Artifacts, Kai over there, and we shipped them 25 copies to Germany.
Awesome.
It was an investment to ship them over there.
Right.
But we really want to start getting our music over there. If we break even on this record over there, we're fine with it. We just want to get the music out there. We want people to hear this record.
We want to go to Europe.
We do want to go to Europe.
I want to go across the pond.
Yeah.
I want to eat fish and chips and sling smoked meats from South Louisiana and tasty riffs.
Bob's your uncle.
Yeah. We do good over there. I think we would, we just got to get on with the right band and the right label.
Right.
Hopefully get on a festival, but a lot of people like search out, like Louisiana music. Like we have a certain sludge sound, right? I wouldn't say we're categorized into sludge, but if
there's definitely elements in there for sure.
Down and COC, just to mention the big ones.
Yeah, and like we talked about Planet Radio at the beginning, and we're all sitting at this table. I'm pretty sure that we all, as youth, went and watched some of the bands that we mentioned here.
Oh yeah,
as younger, influential.
There's a reason why those bands come up when we're talking about all
Yeah.
this, because those are the influences.
Yeah,
and those are who molded us into what we are and where we are today.
And so that sludge, quote unquote sludge, we don't it's really funny. It's like we didn't coin that term. Somebody else did, and it was always something where I found it very interesting how somebody slapped a label on it, and for us it was just a sound. Like it was just something that everybody was, not everybody, but it was just a sound that people were.
It was never
part
a
of.
label for a type of music. It was just a
feeling.
It's sludgy, sludgy riffs.
I hate categorizing music, but I mean it's kind of what you have to do at a certain point. But it's like for us, I always
rock and roll.
Like through the years, I've always tried to not brand us as Southern,
right?
Although our sound is obviously Southern.
Yeah, ain't no denying that.
But I don't want to get pigeonholed into Southern, because we do so much more than that. And even like sludge, we have a lot of sludgy moments on this record.
We're Southern,
but I hate putting us in that category. But that's the same thing when people say, "Oh, you're from Louisiana, man. You from New Orleans?" Nah, man, we ain't from New Orleans.
Yeah.
People don't. I have to tell people this all the time. Where we're from in Acadiana is completely different. Than New Orleans. Our traditions, everything. We could have a whole podcast where we talk about
the cultural aspect, and
where we're from.
Yeah. We can cover boudin, cracklings, and the whole gambit.
Oh yeah. So we kind of get lumped into New Orleans, but we do our own thing. It's so much fun when we go play Texas, right? And then TJ, we're all from Louisiana. To hear him talk coon ass up on stage, like some of our fans sometimes they're like, man, it took. I'm trying to figure out what you're saying sometimes. Because once we have a few little drinks of whiskey or something on stage, he be talking all this nonsense, man.
You gotta
it starts coming out thick there, TJ.
Tick, and you turn it on, bro, and they're like, oh man. But they eat it up. They love it.
So we kind of use that, on stage.
That's our thing.
Because that's where we're from, man.
It's not fake.
It's not an
act. It's not a shtick. It just comes out that way.
If you could hear the conversations that go on in the van. Oh my God.
The Bougie Express.
Bougie Express.
Oh man. People don't know.
We're pulling up over this prime example, right? We're pulling up over here, and we're looking for this place
in Church Point.
Yeah. And there's this yard around the corner. It's got a bunch of 4 barbecue pits, a bunch of crap in the yard, somebody.
And Sanford and Sons.
Yeah, this dude says, I bet he can make some good hog head cheese. It was like, there you go.
Well, yeah, there probably so. More than likely. So, all right. Well, with the album itself, like you talked about backwards and forwards, side A, side B. As a whole, this album really, I kind of want to know individually, how do you all view this individually as a whole body of work? Like obviously we've talked a lot about, the album and a few of the tracks, but as a whole, I kind of just want to know where you guys feel.
Best thing I've ever done musically so far.
Okay.
And it's a labor of love, extreme love, not desperation, but pulling all the stops. Like we said, me and Ross were like, what do we do? Where do we go from here? Do we keep going? Do we stop and shut it down? And we took a chance. We took a gamble. I'm glad we did. We decided, fuck it, dude. Let's go for broke. Let's continue to write this music, which was already kind of being written. It was already kind of moving forward, and we were really enjoying what we were writing. And we said, screw it, dude. Let's just do it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. If it does, here we are.
Right.
It's Crimson and Stone is literally that whole scenario. Mm-hmm. This album is about, and there's a whole lot of different things that we're talking about in these songs, but as a whole, Crimson and Stone is about the shit we went through when we were deciding whether we were going to do this or not, and the work it took and the dedication it took to get here.
Right.
We worked our asses off, and we're very, very proud of this thing. I'm very proud of it. Like I said, it's the best thing I've ever done, and this sumbitch is going on the wall of the house.
Absolutely.
I'm proud of every signature that went on my copy. Yeah, I'm so happy to be able to work with all these guys that I consider my brothers at this point. We're a family, and we're going to continue to be a family, and Vermilion Whiskey ain't going no fucking where. That's my that's
yours.
That's my spiel.
That's your spiel. All right.
Yeah.
It's just, these songs are so fun to play. It's nice putting out a record that I could see myself 10, 20, maybe 30 years from now still playing these songs and still enjoying it, because we put so much heart and thought into writing everything that we crafted it so well that you can't go wrong, with the end product. So it's just so much fun playing it. It almost feels new every time too, because it's just new, the same but different, but comfortable, and just very very organic, just from front to back. And it's one of those, I can't listen to just one track. It all kind of flows together.
Yeah, hearing the album in its entirety, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but hearing the album in its entirety at the Get Down was really nice. I found it really nice and enjoyable to hear the whole thing front to back.
In order, like it is on the album.
Oh, well, and
that's how it's meant to be played. And that's how we wanted it to be from the beginning.
I had bought my vinyl before, and so I flipped it over, and I was like, oh, they're literally running the whole thing front to back, like it's played on the vinyl. So anyways, Ross, I mentioned as a whole, and you've kind of espoused a lot of things during this podcast about how you feel about the album, but is there anything else you want to kind of mention?
I don't know, man. That's a tough question. It's like a child,
right.
I couldn't pick a favorite song. I don't know. It's just, there's so much work that went into it, from the beginning, not knowing if we're going to do it, to writing it, to the drummer, to the studio, to all this, right? And all the effort it went into releasing the album with the PR campaign and all the videos, and a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
But I think just looking back, just to be physically here, talking about it, have this record in my hand,
all worth it.
I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah, and you gave me, I guess I have to thank you for this part, is you kind of gave me a little bit of an introspective look which I never feel deserving for, by the way. So thank you guys very much for trusting me with some of the things that you guys want to talk about behind closed doors about your bands. And it's the one thing that I have to say is like different for me, I guess, because I don't know if there's too many other people that
you're part of a select few people that
come to
that we
and I appreciate that. I really do.
Definitely indulge information with, and it's all people who have helped us to get where we are, man.
Well,
Judd Kennedy being one of them, dude.
Right.
I mean, he like we were talking about us playing back in the day at Sadie's and stuff. That's where I learned how to be a professional on stage, on and off stage.
It was really the only reason.
Set up, tear down, and all that good stuff. And
shout out to Judd.
Yeah, and just there's a good bit of people who we trust with that information and who we know are genuinely excited to hear that kind of stuff. They're like, oh, yeah. And then they push us and they drive us to do this stuff. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for any of those people.
Yeah.
Just like you.
There was definitely a lot of that.
appreciate that.
So
Yeah,
like
man.
when we first did like the videos with Tommy, let's say like the rehearsal sessions, you know, I captured all that. And I made a little YouTube video just private to like, you know, stockpile footage, to archive stuff for our own stuff. And you know, I sent that to some friends. You know, we got a lot of feedback, especially when we started recording the record. You know, there was like a select, very small group of people, like maybe
People
5
we know
or
weren't
6
going to
people.
blow smoke.
Right.
You know, and they really helped us, you know, somewhat produce the album.
Hold it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I, you know, I was saying that, you know, you came to me, you know, when there was a search for a drummer and a bass player, and not really frustrated, just more on the lines of concerned, I guess you could say, that you wanted to make sure that this project continued and push forward.
So
and
like, I guess the big thing is like, I want to make sure we did this album justice.
We knew
like,
we had a good product and something special here.
I wasn't
going
to
to
settle.
who was going to do it justice.
We weren't going to put a subpar product out there. Like I said it from the start. When me and TJ sat down and said, we're going to do this record,
I mean, half-assed.
there was no question. Like when we come back, we're going to be better than we were before.
Right. Yep.
Like
And
there's no question. Like I'm not doing it if it's not.
Right, and you guys absolutely did that. And you know, the fact that the cover, I think it's very fitting that you decided to go with someone who was forging.
That's exactly.
Literally forging something into, like, working the metal and making something into basically I'm not exactly sure what he's actually fashioning there, but
If you look on the back, he's holding it up.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, let's go play some shows now.
He's on the top of the mountain.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't
He's
realize
forging
that.
a weapon. He's
That's
forging,
excellent.
and that's a metaphor for the whole thing.
So while we're talking about it, shout out to Steven Yoyada, who did the artwork. He did a great job.
Hella awesome.
Yeah, it's beautiful art. Definitely captures the essence of Vermilion whiskey. All the art that you guys have put out, the shirts that you've put out, the flag that you put out, the line of merch that you have is
it's vast. That's for sure.
Well, that's what pays the bills, man.
Yeah, it is. But it's one of those things where you have something for everybody on the table,
you know, like,
and it's awesome.
Like
so.
my closet is like 8,000 black T-shirts.
Yeah.
You know, and like I go to a show, I want to support a band. You know, I want to buy something, but I don't always want a black T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I wanted to make sure that we had something for everybody who wanted to support us, who
Even
wanted
if you
to
don't have
put
a
in
lot
some
of
gas money
you
in the
can't
band.
really
You know,
afford to buy all these $30 shirts and hoodies and all this stuff, man. We got a little something here, you know.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, man, if you show up and you don't have enough money for what you really want, I'm gonna make sure you get at least something. You know?
Right.
Stickers. Yeah. We got stickers, pics, and all this other stuff. You know, especially the younger guys, and they look up to us, and they want, you know, merch. It's like, hey,
it's all about
you
brand.
playing guitar. You know, I'll play guitar too. Here, take you some pics, man.
Yeah.
You know, here you go.
That's something we've worked really hard on to try to build a brand.
Big time.
Right. It's hard to do, and I feel are getting there.
I think it's a
We
very
just need people
distinguishable.
to listen to this record, and I think we'll gain some headway. You know.
I think it's a very distinguishable V-Dub brand. It's a very distinguishable V-Dub Vermilion whiskey brand that you're creating. And I genuinely love everything that's on your merch table. I want to buy it all. Like I was disappointed
You take
that
PayPal, Visa, MasterCard. Cash out.
You already got
Cash
some of
in
my
hand.
money for 2 of the albums. I'm gonna definitely throw down
cards,
some
full
more stuff.
frontal nudity.
Yeah, if you want to support us, vermilionwhiskey.com. We've put a lot of work into building the website. We got all kind of cool merch. We got even like unique print-on-demand merch that will only
that
be
you can't
yours.
buy physically
like,
from us.
Right.
Yeah.
you know, you can buy hoodies and different color shirts, different designs, make it your own, whatever. It's pretty
If
cool.
you
man.
really want something with a Vermilion Whiskey logo on it, you hit us up and we will fucking make it. Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Draws, whatever.
Whatever you need, V-Dubs can supply for you.
Jock strap, dildos, whatever.
Yikes.
Somebody hit me up wanting a V-Dub dildo.
Well,
It would blow my mind.
I feel like there's a great dad joke there.
It probably
Somewhere's
is.
in there is. Well, you mentioned that there's a European release of
So
the
that's coming up soon through
Right.
Cosmic Artifacts.
but you're also kind of searching for someone to pick up like a label to pick up the actual album itself.
We would hope so.
Yeah, we shopped some labels on this. We had a few little nibbles, but most didn't want to put it out till like 2024.
Oh, okay.
And you know, it wasn't in the cards. So we would love to find a label that's right for us, because you know that opens a lot of doors, especially for touring and
Right.
other things.
Europe. That's the main thing.
It's what we want to do, get on the festivals. You know, it's a labor of love, you know, doing this all ourselves, like all the business, trying, you know, booking and everything else. It would be awesome to have a label that appreciates what we're doing.
A
But,
little help, you know.
but ultimately, you know,
Yeah.
we decided to put this out on our own. You know, there's a lot of upside to putting it out on our own. Luckily,
I would think that it goes a little bit farther. You know, seeing a band that's a lot more DIY, and all the bands that I've seen that have been picked up by any kind of labels, they were already extremely DIY, doing a lot on their own, and sometimes that's what it takes to get there. And we ain't scared to work. You know?
well, shout out. So hopefully, you know, we sell out these records and we do another press on a label.
Cosmic Artifacts out of Germany, I believe.
You know, I mean, I guess my thing right now is just trying to get on tour. You know, it doesn't pay for us to go out on the road on our own. We're still so little,
Right.
you know, just to go play to some bartenders on a Tuesday somewhere. You know, but if Crowbar or Corrosion want to take us on the road, man, you know, let's do it.
The opportunity happened, you would do it.
Let's hit the road, man.
Yeah, anybody.
We got the new tour van. We're ready to go, man. We're ready to.
And we
put
will
us on
bring
a-
all the smoked meats that your heart desires.
Put us on a stage. Put us on a stage, and
Rice
we
and
will
gravy.
deliver.
You won't be disappointed whenever
No.
you put Vermilion Whiskey on stage. That's for sure.
The music speaks for itself, man. You know, we can sit here and talk till we're blue in the face. Listen to the damn record.
Yeah.
That says it all.
And yeah, you're right.
Live show too, man. I mean, it's. My girlfriend was telling me about that the other day. You know, after the get down, she was like, "Man, it sounds great on the record, and it sounds great live." And she said it's two different things, but it's still, it's not different as far as intensity and just, you know, I want to headbang just as much seeing it live as I am
We
listening
pretty
to
much
it in my
recorded
house.
it live. You know, when we went in, like, not much was click tracked. I kind of wish we kind of would have on some stuff, but honestly, like, Tommy was just so locked in on
He was
the
on
tempo.
it. He was on it.
in the
Like,
pocket and done,
he was
done
locked
with it.
in,
Yeah.
man. So we pretty much recorded it live, man. Like, the drum takes are just exactly what we did in that room rehearsing. And that was a trip all in itself, right? So we show up the first time in New Orleans. You know, it was try not to fanboy out. You know, so we're in Crowbar's jam room, and at the time, Down was rehearsing for the big live stream they did in New Orleans, right? So like, one of the rehearsals we had, Down had just played that show, right? So like half the jam room was all of Down's equipment. All Downs,
Crowbars,
on their
gear,
stuff.
all
We got
Downs gear.
Jimmy Bowers
from the night before.
We got Jimmy Bauer's huge gong
yeah.
in the room, Bauer Power, and I'm just like trying not to nerd out.
Yeah,
you know,
wow,
and, like,
okay,
freak
yeah.
out about it. You know?
Let's be professional here and
It was really
come
like
in here
that.
and jam out.
It was really like that. you
Velvet
know, and
Elvis.
It was like one Sunday we practiced, and like we didn't realize it that Kirk was coming in to sign the
Kirk and Pat Reuters.
Yeah, we're coming in to sign the posters they made for the live stream.
Gotcha.
Sold for, like,
Friday the
merch pack.
13th thing.
Right.
Yeah, so we're like jamming out, and here's Kirk in the other room,
Literally, like you could see him.
Yeah, the glass door
right through. It's like no pressure. All right, here.
It was a trip, man. It was.
They heard the whole album. And it's so pretty good, man.
It was a trip. You know, just being a huge Down fan and a huge Crowbar fan through the years, and just like it was so surreal. You know, like to be there working on our music when our idols. You know, like just it was just a trip.
To jam with and for your peers, man, is the best gift you could ever receive as a musician. To me.
Yeah, and like we played another show in Lafayette, right? That Seth helped us get on. Thank you, sir.
Thank you guys so much. We're Vermilion Whiskey from right here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Thank you guys. We love you. We'll see you on next time.
And you know, they had somewhat requested us.
That was a no-brainer though. Like it was one of those dates where I was like, "There's only one band I want on this besides the headliner, and it's Vermilion Whiskey."
So I was Crowbar at Grant Street, and it was a trip because you know we played the show, and then you know I made some gumbo for Kirk and the guys down. I mean, Crowbar. It was crazy, and like to hear him afterwards, I got the lowdown from Pat. You know, afterwards, because he was on tour with them. They played in Shreveport the next night, so he was in the van with Crowbar, right? And he's like, "Man, they were just talking about y'all and how good the songs were, and I got the goose pimples again."
Yeah,
like that's just gratification.
That makes it worth so much worth it, man.
So I can't wait to put it out. Like,
makes it worth it.
Just gratification, you know. Like
funny side story too. You talk about the gumbo you made. Funny side story here is that
duck gumbo.
No, it's turkey.
It was turkey.
Was it? No, turkey.
It was
not
turkey.
duck. Yeah,
turkey's up in the pit.
It was fire.
But I'm sitting there at the door trying to figure out what the delay is for Crowbar to go on, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And I look over, and there's Kurt eating another bowl of gumbo. Then I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna leave him alone because he's enjoying.
Just let him do his thing.
Enjoying Ross's gumbo.
Trust the process, baby.
Like, all right." Sitting there eating a bowl of gumbo with some Coors Light, and I was like,
"Fucking A, dude."
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a great show for that, and the show that you guys put on at Feed and Seed with the Get Down. Let's talk about the uniqueness of that and how you decided to come up with that concept with the music video and the crawfish boil.
So like TJ said this before about the Get Down. So like for instance, like on each record, that's a broad topic. Okay, so like throughout the history of the band, like we all come in from different like music styles, right? From like I'm real big into like melodic thrash metal. TJ's big into death metal. Jason's into he's into some weird shit.
At the same time, we all listen to everything.
Anyway, right. So we always just like settle in, you know, a central place.
Right.
And that's kind of what VW was from. Like I write a lot of heavier stuff that doesn't make it into the band, and so do the other guys, you know. So like each record we've made like a classic rock song. You know?
Yeah, call it that good old boy, down home, just bluesy, That's all. The best way I can describe it is, you know.
So like the first record I think is Snake Bitten.
Yeah,
it's kind of that vibe.
Yeah, I can see that.
On the second record, Carl wrote, we hadn't played it in a while, One Night.
All right,
and that is such a rock and roll song.
Yeah,
it is.
It's just through and through. It's like Thin Lizzy, man. You know, just rock and roll as hell.
Yeah, when I came up with that riff in the Get Down, it was just like we got that stank face, you know. Mm-hmm. And then, like TJ said it before, that song is just like some coon-ass rock and roll, man.
Yeah,
this is just some coon-ass rock and roll. That's what it is.
Getting down, with the Get Down.
So it's about the Get Down. So that was the idea around the video, is I wanted to showcase Louisiana and where we're from.
Right.
So that's why we picked the Feed and Seed, because it's got a beautiful backdrop with all the old shutters, and that's why we did the crawfish bowl. It's so on brand, you know.
Yeah. The Get Down is not a place you go. It's a place inside that everybody knows. You can feel it when good people gather around, passing a good time out there to Get Down.
Oh yeah,
that's in a nutshell. That's
it's beautifully said too, man. Yeah. Like it's really a
yeah.
I think that song in particular was probably the one song that we probably wrote the most as a band.
Okay.
Yeah,
from start to finish.
Collectively, yeah.
With the new lineup, it was pretty awesome to see that come together. And then the lyric video I made for that is a lot of fun. Wait, yeah, it'll probably be out. It will be out.
Show your Graham, show your Momo in there, bro. They're gonna like, they might see some of their partners on there.
So shout out to Ben Pierce Photography. Do you follow Ben Pierce Photography?
I think I do.
Dude,
Yeah.
R.I.P. Randall's.
This dude's killing it, man. Like, it's a bunch of swamp scenes. He wakes up like before daylight, goes out in the swamp in his canoe, just beautiful swamp shots. Anyway, so
Love it.
I hit him up, and then turns out he's a big metal guy.
Nice.
Like, he loves Down, and I sent him the record, and he was all stoked to do some stuff with it. So he went and shot some video for that in the swamp, like early in the morning. So that's part of the video, mixed with like a bunch of old Zydeco from like Randall's and Buzu Chavis and all this stuff. It's a lot of fun.
That's exactly what it's all about. Just having a good time, passing a good time, man.
So I can't wait to work on the actual music video, which we got some really fun ideas for that.
Oh, big time.
And it's gonna be pretty cool-ass too. It's gonna be pretty cool-ass.
It's gonna be cool-ass as shit.
Well, there was some crawfish involved, so it's definitely going to be down home.
Oh, there's crawfish. There's drinking and
There's
fighting,
some booty
and
shaking.
booty
There's a lot of stuff going on.
grinding, and yeah.
Good deal.
C'est bon.
Now you make me want to see that. So the actual release of the single, "The Get Down," is
So
going
let's
to
talk
be,
about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So, well, this is probably going to air much after that, but the video is coming out this Wednesday. Our single for "The Get
Gotcha.
Down." Try to get Louisiana Loud to play it on Planet
Absolutely,
Radio.
I'll actually do.
It came out Wednesday.
It came out Wednesday.
and I'll
Wednesday.
I'll do a Sunday. I'll definitely premiere it on the show on the Loud Hour, and then also I'll make sure I do a Louisiana Loud Loud Hour news segment.
Well, we pretty much talked about the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jason, you want to add anything?
Again,
Get
so
Down.
much fun. That's probably the most fun for me.
That's
Playing the whole record.
Oh,
yeah.
that bass slaps in that song.
It does.
It's I appreciate it. And we got to play that song with Tommy. We asked him what song you want to play with us.
He said he wanted to do the Get Down.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We're going to give Mr. Wade Perkins a little break and call up a special guest to the stage. Mr. Tommy Buckley from Crowbar. In the past year or so, we got to know this man a little bit more, and we've kind of become family, I'd like to say. Him and his wife. And, you know, whenever you get together and you do something as cool as record an album with the guy, you know, it's fucking pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. And so we're proud to say that he's going to be the drums on the new Vermilion Whiskey album coming on next spring. And yeah, it's fucking amazing for the huge learning experience. And we appreciate him for everything he's done for us. This is for all of y'all, man. It's called The Get Down.
And like when we shot the video, you know, it was like I had all these dance moves for the song, but it's really not like. Ever since we wrote that song, like I just dance, like it's just a dancing kind of song, you know.
Ross
like,
trying to make himself TikTok famous here,
right? I remember, quick little story. The first time I played Vermilion Whiskey for my grandpa, right? So he's from Coonville down the Burbridge Highway, right? Just
in the back there,
Cajun, right? And I remember
Longbridge.
That's
Okay.
That's where I grew up.
Okay.
Right? That's where this all started, on the Vermilion River, right?
Ross Brown and the Longbridge All Stars, Bob.
Yeah. So I remember I think it was 10 South, our first record. We over there on a Saturday morning, you know, somebody's cooking a gravy, of course, you know, and they got 88.7 in the back playing Cajun music, and then we got the little boom box out. I say, hey, Pop It, listen to this music here. So, you know, he had them old Dickie coveralls on. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, we know what we're talking about.
The little belt right there comes on.
I contemplated buying me one of those a couple of weeks ago.
If they got one in my size, bro, you let me know.
All right, so we're sitting there in the kitchen. I put it on. He's sitting there quiet for a little bit, just kind of, you know, shaking his head. Just, you know, played a couple songs, turned it off. Man, Pop, what you think of that? And he's, oh, what you call that? It's Vermilion. What? Man, he said, no. You need to call yourselves the Bayou Vermilion Boys. That's what you call it. I said, what you think of the music, Pop? I said, what's all that static? I said, well, that's the guitarist, Pop. It's supposed to sound like that. Oh, okay. Well, man, you can't dance to that, no.
You can't dance to that.
I'll never forget that, man. It was such a beautiful moment.
So that's why you were like, I gotta make it.
We write songs that you can dance to.
So now you were like, I gotta make a dance song.
And that's what it kind of made me think of that, because when I did the flyer for the Get Down, like that was my whole inspiration. I got all these old like Louisiana dance hall pictures from it, and that was kind of the idea. That's what it's about. And this is just
we were steeped in tradition, man.
It's the vibe.
That's how we came up. That's where we owe all of the vibe to that.
Yeah, I was so like, I'll go another little tangent real quick.
Sure.
So like, my wife's family, they're not from down here, right? And her sister came over one day. And she was like, man, why you always got Cajun music playing low in the background? I said, well, just the way it is. I can't explain it to you.
His kitchen is just
24/7. There's always a gravy cooking on my stove. Right.
That's the truth. Every time I see a photo of from you, it's either something on the pit or something on the stove, gravy wise.
That's right. So I'm always cooking. I got K-Bomb. It's always K-Bomb playing the radio, or 88.7. Listen to the Zydeco Stomp.
Right.
Shout out Herman.
Jaman.
And I was thinking, man, we got to get our song on K-Bomb. Like we got to. Like for the release, Chris, you know somebody? Can you make that happen?
Yes.
What's his name? Todd Artigo, right?
Yep.
Hey, Todd, I'm calling you out, man.
Yeah, Todd,
even if it's one time, like that would just make me so happy to my heart.
Give you
get down on cable.
We'll give you some bologna and
we got to make that happen.
Hey,
and I had this whole idea, like I want to do this video series, right? Like after the record's released, I'm gonna do this Lafayette famous, right?
Okay.
So I'm gonna get all these different local celebrities, like I'm gonna get Sharon Moss, I'm gonna get Wayne Toops, I'm gonna get all these people.
Friends with the great Boudini.
The great Boudini, bro.
Yeah.
We get all these people. I'm gonna get Todd Artigo. I'm calling you out again.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna get them to do like a, it's like a reaction video. Kind of the same thing I was talking about my grandpa. The people that wouldn't necessarily listen to.
Put your little ear on that, Chad, and listen to that. Tell me what you think. These people that wouldn't
necessarily listen to hard rock. I can get somebody's Meemaw out there, in the nursing home or something, listen to it, and I want to hear their reaction,
right?
Because
well, you bring that up. I give it to me. Well, I already have it. I shouldn't say give it to me. I'm actually planning on going to visit my my great uncle, who actually used to host a radio program called the Les Lester Hour in New Iberia on an AM station in the 50s.
Nice.
And he's
see, that's exactly
what we need.
He's 87 years old, and I know that he would really enjoy and like hearing something that's new.
It'd be a lot of fun.
So I'm actually planning on going visit him soon. So I'm gonna go.
Rob Perillo, I'm coming for you.
T-Rob.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. I'm looking forward
to that. What you need from Todd, dude?
We need to get on K-Bomb. Like for real.
Really?
Like for real, I listen to K-Bomb like every day.
I'm calling him right now.
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
Let's see if you answer.
Oh my God, Chris Levy sent me a friend request?
Hey, what's up, my friend?
All right. How's it going?
Good, dude. How are you?
Oh, good. Keep busy and healthy, and the wife likes me, and everything checks.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Hey, you have a quick second?
Yeah, sure. I'm just driving from Villeplat to Eunice.
Okay. So I got some guys. They're in a rock band. They're called Vermilion Whiskey. But they're big fans of K-Ball and big fans of you, and they love to be on a show one day.
Well, yeah. Do they have any? Well, they like to be on a TV show or visit K-Ball?
Well, look, I got Ross right here.
I listen to you every day, Todd. Every day.
Ross, tell me a little bit about the band. What's your style? Do you know it?
It's like Southern hard rock, right? So we got this one track that's called the Get Down, right? And it's so Louisiana, man. And we gotta play it on K-Ball, man. We got it.
You never sent it to us yet, huh?
No, I haven't yet, but I'm gonna.
Well, let's do it. My email is easy. It's Tom.
Oh yeah, now we're talking.
And that sounds like something Phil Davis could play for sure. That'll work out. Especially when we harp on that, some Acadiana guys in it. You know?
I mean, we're so Louisiana, man. We got this new track coming out this week, actually, and I was listening to Cable on this week, and I was listening, and it was playing some. What came on? It was some Bob Seger came on. I was jamming some Bob Seger. I was like, man, they gonna play some Bob up in here. They can play some VW, man. Wait, the Silver Bullet, man. We can do it.
Doing that, but they throw a few of them in there. That's okay, but that's cool, yeah. So we can get by with that. And I tell you what, man, I like it a lot right now. Not exactly enough, but it's all original. All original. It's that Poisson Rouge.
Okay.
You know those people?
I don't know.
It's terrific, man. It's terrific. All kind of influences in there. It's all sung in French, or mostly in French, and it's an accordion, but it's not a waltz or two-step. It's nothing they know. It's all original music they're doing.
Oh yeah, we're all original, man. We know a bunch of local bands. We've been doing this for over a decade, Todd.
Oh shit, yeah. Well, send me that and a little history, and we can definitely give that a go, man.
Oh yeah. I don't think you want us on the Swamp and Road show, but we sure would get down if you want to have it.
Well, that's not ruled out, but yeah, pretty much I need to get bands that bring a fan base that like to play the casino, like to play, that's what it's all about. Yeah, they sell beer, they sell food, but it's about 50 people.
We drink a lot of whiskey.
Oh, that's my goal as a musician. I want to retire the casino.
I always had this idea for a video where we go set up at this honky tonk, right? Way out in the country out here, right? And then, they think we're a Zydeco band, and we start playing, we just film their reaction.
Yeah, that would be fun to do. Real video with. And just get some people with some long faces and everything. Or straight down and just take you around you need paper, request, or everything. And then just keep bearing Then the camera goes to the dance floor and they all cut up. Yeah. Dance and cut up. There's beer and shit.
Yeah, that's the exact idea, man.
Oh, man. All right, well, cool, Todd.
We'll get back to you, man. And good to hear from you, Chris. That thing is working out for you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man. We'll be in touch soon.
All right, buddy.
Okay, man. See ya.
That was awesome.
Thank you
There you go. My little Cajun heart's about to fucking burst.
Shout out wise, or you kind of mentioned some of these people. Who do you guys want to thank?
So one big one,
wrap up.
We didn't talk about it yet, but Mr. Wade Perkins.
Yep,
he is our drummer. Let's talk about Mr. Wade here.
Yeah.
The milkman.
Milkman.
The milkman.
Yeah.
So it turns out, like through the time of rehearsing the record, trying to find somebody, Wade hit us up, and we had already started rehearsing with Tommy in the studio, and it was so odd. Like Wade just hit us up on Facebook,
out of nowhere, man.
Out of nowhere.
We had pretty much given up looking, and then it just fell from the sky.
Well, we're gonna put the album out
On the
with
back
Tommy,
burner,
whatever,
yeah.
and somebody. We'll have this album to show somebody and say, "Hey, you play this," It's like, okay.
Yeah,
So
that's.
he hit us up.
I mean, exactly how you said it is how Ross ended up telling me, like, "Hey, this is
Wade
how we're
hits
going to do
us
this."
up on Facebook, right? And no mutual friends, don't know. It could be a fake account.
Don't know him from Adam.
It just looked odd, right?
Right.
And he hits me up. I sent him a track. I think it was Confidence I sent him, right? So I sent him Confidence without the drums. And I sent him the demo, and I got his number. He called me. He calls me. I think he's at the mall or something. He calls me, and we ended up talking for an hour, just nerding out about music, right? So I pick up the phone. He said, man, I was listening to this song, and the chorus has to be the drums for Rats Lay It Down. That's what I hear for this chorus. And as soon as he said that, I was like, who is this guy? Come jam with me right now. Because that was the perfect answer. Because that was the drums I had in my head.
When I heard that, I was like, hell yeah.
So he
like,
comes.
I love that song, dude.
Some truths are hide from the truth, but I'm not one. I'm not one. You've done it through your self-destruct. You're falling down.
I love that song.
He comes jam with me at the house, just me and him, you know, and he comes from, you know, definitely a rock background, but he plays in a lot of like Zydeco and country bands and stuff. So I really wasn't sure how much he really liked to get down, you know.
Right.
So I started throwing him some of the heaviest riffs I got, just like off time weird shit. And there was this one riff in particular on the interlude that I've played with a lot of drummers, and not one caught it. I played it for him. He was like, "Oh, that's a 7/8." Boom, just played it. I was like, right, who is this guy? And then, you know, so he got in the fold with us, and the coolest part about the whole thing is that there's like no ego, right? So like, Wade was with us.
Cool as a cucumber.
Wade was with us when we went to the studio in New Orleans. Like he was right.
Slower than that.
Slower than 135?
It starts to be. It looks like it starts at 135.
Yeah, the
And
intro
He was with us when we went to the studio in New Orleans. Like he was right there with Tommy, nerding out, producing the drums with Tommy. It was a trip to hear them two talk all weekend.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it was like a different language. Like you see him off, and all you hear him goes. And
they both learn from each other different things, and they both were definitely a detrimental part in you know, putting it together, which is awesome. I'm so glad that Wade was able to be a part of it in that aspect. You know, even though he didn't track drums on it, he helped Tommy to do it.
Oh, he was awesome. A huge producer in this record. Like coming in post after we had already wrote the record, like he's listening to stuff from a whole different perspective.
Yeah.
Right?
And it wasn't like I'm just gonna come in and play this. You know,
like he just approached it from a.
He attacked it, and
well, more from like a producer's mindset,
right?
Like more from like just a music
very
lover,
professional.
You know, like, oh, this song could be so much better if we did this. You know, and he really honed it all together. So having him as our live drummer, and I should say live, he's our drummer.
Yeah,
we can't wait to write music with him.
Yeah.
Well, you four gentlemen that are Vermilion Whiskey now, I had a hard time staying at the door during your set. I kept walking away and gravitating towards wanting to watch you all.
Did it make you want to dance in your pants?
It did. It wanted me to do. It really did.
I
kind of. You mentioned Iris earlier, and I kept like, I need to see them.
You need to get you an intern, bro.
I need to.
Hold it down, dude. I'm going to watch these.
I do need one.
I'm going to get down over there.
So yeah,
well, let's talk about that real quick. Like most people aren't going to understand.
Oh yeah,
the get down. Ooh, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So like, okay, we're gonna have a conversation. Like me and TJ going to Walmart. Let's say, right? So we pull up to Walmart. I'm driving, put the car in park. I say, hey T, you getting down, bro?
Right, yes.
Are you gonna get out of the car?
Right.
You gonna get down?
You gonna get down?
Yeah.
I remember
nobody else.
Nowhere else on the planet says that. Right.
That's very Louisiana.
Yeah.
Very Louisiana. It was kind of a spin-off of that.
Yeah. And then get down.
I remember
get down with your bad self.
I had a district manager from GameStop who was from Reno, Nevada, and the first time she heard someone say, "Are you going to get down?" She was like, "Excuse me, what?" Like she was
off
like,
my high horse. What are you talking?
What are you talking about? Get down from what?
Yeah. Some people, you gonna fight? What? You want dancing?
Yeah. What? You You want to throw hands? Come at me, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's just another one of those elements, man. We just think one of those Cajun elements we throw in there.
Yeah, I guess shout outs. I talked about Orange and Reverend Guitars.
Right.
My partner Michael Bro hooking up all my guitars. You need
Michael's
some guitar work.
Repair.
That's my partner. Of course, Tommy, Wade, my wife Iris, you rock, being with us through all this turmoil, you should say. And then these guys, man. I love you guys.
Love you. If it weren't for this dude, none of this was happening. He kept me going. I kept him going. You know, we kept each other going, and then having good guys join in with us and share that vision. And that's what it's all about. It's about the vision for the future. You know, this motherfucker's mind is just turning all the time about this whole thing.
I'm thinking right now.
He's always thinking about the next thing, and I come. A lot of times I come through it, something. I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about it. He's like, already on it. Dude.
I want to say something about that too. Is because like Ross called me and was like, hey man, I want you to be a part of. I want Louisiana Loud, and I want you to be a part of our CD release for the Get Down, or for the album release for the Get Down. And I was actually nervous. Because I didn't know if I was going to be able to meet the standard that Ross usually hits. And, I've been doing this for 20 years, and it was actually a privilege for me to actually be a part of this CD release and this album release. And I really do appreciate whenever a band asks me to be a part of, their album release and things like that. But I knew that this one was really special to you guys. Yeah. And I also knew that the bar was going to be set really high as to what needed to be done.
Well, I appreciate the kudos, but but
we still, all the best. That's what we asked for, the best.
I appreciate that, but still, he made me nervous. I was like, oh, I know Ross has that
shaking in
that
his
idea
drawers.
and that standard.
all the work I put in, but
yeah,
it's more about everything we do together as a group,
big time.
Every group has a leader, and just. It's about the community. That's why, I wanted to get you involved in the process. Everything you've done for us on the radio and everything you do for the scene. I wanted all of our people to be involved. Absolutely. Everybody.
We're taking everybody with us. We're taking Louisiana with us. And like you were saying about K-Bone, bro, we are fucking Louisiana proud, just like K-Bone.
Oh yeah,
all day, every day.
We're gonna go play the Black Oil Casino? Was it the Swamp and Roll show? You think they have us on the Swamp and Roll show? Well, talk about some Swamp and Roll.
You want to pigeonhole us? That's what we play. We play Swamp and Roll.
And that was kind of my idea for the Get Down. That's what I wanted, just that vibe,
It had that.
Which is so awesome. We're in Church Point today,
right?
It had that Louisiana hayride feel.
We ate fried ribs,
like that whole.
Yeah.
That's
some good fried ribs.
Delicious.
But that's
good.
Rascals tea.
They're gone. They gone. They talking about fried ribs now. So.
Oh man. What else we got? We talked about all.
We covered everything. Yeah, we kind of rolled through.
That was really fun. I must say.
It was actually pretty natural.
Shout out to Monica. I love you. She's rock solid.
Shout out to K-Bone.
Every good man is only as good as his good woman. Damn good loving.
Any shout outs?
Shout out to India.
There you go.
My babe.
Yeah.
My #1 fan. She's the reason I'm still doing this. I was like, you think I should, babe? She's like,
she's his only fan, and the reason why he's not on OnlyFans.
Yep.
When Jason came in, I don't even think it was a tryout. It was just just a jam. And I never have to worry about Jason on stage. Never. He never plays the wrong note. It just pisses me off. The dude is so good. It's to the level
and
if
gets
Jason,
into it.
If Jason leaves the band, nobody can play his bass parts.
That's what everybody says.
He has job security.
You can tell he was feeling it.
That's on purpose.
Nobody can play
it. It's interesting you bring that up because I know whenever you had other members depart and things like that, and then when Jason came in, I was like, "You have a new bass player?" He's like, "You were like, yeah, absolutely." It was like a no-brainer. It wasn't like, "Yeah, we're gonna feel him out." It was like, "Oh yeah, no, Jason's our bass player." It was done.
He's the guy
in a story.
He's the guy.
He had my vote from day one, and it was I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to Stoner Jam and jam a couple of those riffs with him."
Yeah. I mean, my riffs,
and it was clicked.
So the majority of the riffs I write are they're not easy. I'm not saying they're hard to play, but they're very structured. in a way, right? So like having to teach somebody a song, and like especially the drummers, like teaching them this and that, teaching. It's just Jason just came in and played it, man.
How do you describe a feeling? You know what I'm saying?
He just came in.
You
and
can't
just did it. Like the same thing with Tommy. Like okay, and just did it.
Yeah,
like there was no BS. It's just total pros.
And the fact that Wade came into the process right as you were recording and developed it with Tommy was amazing too.
It's crazy.
So.
The chips just kind of fell where they may, or whatever,
and,
however you say that.
Really, sit there beating myself up. Oh, this isn't gonna happen. It's just so frustrating. Oh, another guy quit. Oh man,
an emotional roller coaster, to say the least.
But through all that thick and thin, like I wouldn't have changed a damn thing.
Nope.
Yeah,
and we wouldn't have got to this point.
We are exactly
wouldn't have
where
had
we
the
need to be
people
right now.
We have the whole Wade thing wouldn't have happened. Like, man, this is just awesome. I just really can't wait if we have the opportunity, hopefully soon, to like sit down and write. Because I got a bunch of songs in my head. We got
some riffs. We've
like,
been toying around with.
Like
bit.
Wade had come in post. Like the record was already written. So it's gonna be awesome to write music with these guys all together as a band. For the first time, that's gonna be incredible.
You've got an incredible album already with Crimson and Stone, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with the next set of songs.
We ain't going nowhere, bro. We here.
Right now, we just want people to hear this record.
I'm
We're
here
gonna
to stay.
get out, play some shows, man. You want to book us? Hit us up.
Yeah, make sure you get to a Vermilion Whiskey show. It is definitely an experience that you will not regret. It is one of those shows that actually has some bite to it. The get down was really fun.
We put on a show. We put on a party, bro.
Yeah,
especially locally. I mean, we might play here 4 times a year, maybe.
Right.
And it's so fun. Like each show will get like new people. We've been playing in Lafayette for over a decade.
I mean, we would like to have bands that we know we're gonna have a good time playing with. Join us. Yeah, I mean, Cheater Pipe's always a no-brainer as far as that goes.
Yeah, I had a high school friend of mine who
I had $1 for every time we played with Cheater Pipe. But I mean, it's a good thing.
Have enough dollars.
Well,
right?
You bring up
awesome.
Cheetah Pipe. I had a friend of mine who went to school with with Creosote. That we went to school together, all together, Burbridge High, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be there. What time does Cheetah Pipe go on?" So I lied to him and told him to make sure.
Yeah.
So that way he would see you guys when he was left.
One of the best guitar players anywhere.
Yeah. But I lied to him and told him, an hour earlier, and he's like, "All right, cool." And so he saw you guys, and his sister, or not his sister, his cousin from out of town was with him. And she was like, "I really like those guys." She was like, "They were really fun." She was like, "Obviously, really enjoyed Cheetah Pipe," but she was like, "I'm gonna check those guys out more next time I'm in town." So I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So
love to hear it.
Yeah, like you said, it's one of those things where new people get to experience Vermilion Whiskey and they gravitate towards the music. They're definitely not turned off to what they hear. So
that's my favorite thing, man. Just making new fans and meeting new people that really enjoy what we do.
That's the best part of town.
Especially out of town, just like, oh man, you guys are just, and it's not just the music; it's the whole vibe. They love how we're coon ass as shit.
That's always been my favorite part, just getting on the road and playing. Hopefully we get to the point where we're touring, do a big tour, but it's just doing Weekend Warrior stuff right now. But it's so fun. We show up to a venue, you don't know nobody. All the bands are real shy. And by the end of the night, like,
we're all partying.
We all got friends for life. Bands we played with through the years, like we've stayed in contact. It's best friends. Like it's just such a
making
brotherhood,
those relationships.
Yeah. And there's so many bands that hit me up. They go, "Hey, I found out about you from Ross Brown and Vermilion Whiskey, and we want to play a show in Lafayette. Hook us up." And I'm like, "Yeah, like let's see what we can work out. Can Vermilion Whiskey play with us?" Well, that I don't know about, but we'll see about getting the show done.
Yeah,
that's tough.
We've had to turn down some offers, man, here and there.
Yeah, so our next show is in August. We're bringing over Them Old Ghosts from New Orleans. You know
great
these
band,
guys?
yeah,
so,
great band.
I'm excited for that. So we're gonna do a little show swap with them. Great rock band. I'm excited to jam with those guys.
Yeah, I like those guys a lot. Same thing with Green Gasoline, which
coincidentally
they have a new album that's coming out too.
Shout out to those guys. The album just came out.
Yep.
And it's pretty funny. Did you see the similarity in our artwork?
I did. I laughed at it. I chuckled.
That album art is very similar, man. And I love that kind of stuff.
Sign
the
of
way
the
it
times,
happens.
man.
Yeah.
So go check out Green Gasoline, Strike While the Iron's Hot. Can't wait to listen to it myself. I love that band. Those guys
amazing
are
musicians all around, man.
Yeah, love those guys.
I could only hope to play and sing as well as that guy, man. Like
and dance around too, man.
And dancing.
They all got the dance moves.
The total package, dude.
Yeah.
I had those guys on a show in New Orleans, and was told like, "Hey, don't worry," because there was pre-sale tickets involved. And they're like, "Hey, don't worry about the pre-sale tickets being sold. Like, these guys are gonna be like, don't worry, people will be here to see them." And I was like, "Cool." And like, sure enough, like pre-sales were kind of light. I was really worried, and then bam, like everybody showed up. And once I saw them, I was like, "Oh, okay, now I get it." And like, this is a band that
just really
them boys need to come back to Lafayette.
I would love to get them back to Lafayette.
Yeah, we should get them on an August show.
Holla, man.
Maybe so. So that would be fun.
Y'all know.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah, like all this, it's just it's a brotherhood, just supporting everybody. What you do at Louisiana Lounge is. We're all about supporting each other. There's no egos like, hey, nah, man, we just want to have a good time.
We ain't better than nobody, dude. We just 4 dudes from Lafayette that just want to make good music and have a good time, Maybe use this as a springboard to be able to do this a little more full time than we are now. I've said it a million times and I'm gonna say it again. I'll eat gas station burritos the rest of my fucking life. I don't care. I want to go on tour. I want to hit the road. I want to play music. I want to be like, what's his name, from ELO, man. Just wake up in the morning and walk around and write music all day, and I mean, it's a pipe dream, but one of these days when I'm old and gray, maybe that'll happen.
Well, you can't say we didn't try.
No, not at all.
Right.
This is the only way you're gonna get there, as far as I know. This is the only way I know how to get there.
You only live once.
Write music.
We got the tour van now. I can't wait to tell Big Red to go on about it. I want to pack up and hit the road, but got to pay the bills. Got kids to feed. It's a labor of love, brother.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is the truth about the labor of love and how you.
A lot of sacrifice.
Like when Wade first joined the band, he was talking about it. He plays a lot of cover stuff, weddings, and all these other events.
The taco circuit.
Yeah, and like I told him from the start,
Wild Rice
like,
Band.
You're not getting paid, right?
Yeah,
this isn't that kind of band.
One of them gigs.
It's like this is all about labor of love, and he's been in it 2,000%.
He don't care about none of that.
He understands what we're trying to do, and I just had a phone call with Wade a couple days ago, and we're talking about the exact same thing about, man, this record is so good. This was what Wade was telling me. It's like Wade says, this record's so good, it'd be ashamed if people don't hear it.
Right.
He thinks that, this record could really break genres and really break us out if people would just listen to the thing,
Why we're pushing it so hard, man.
So we got, we got 2 music videos coming. Can't wait. We got Confidence, which was the first big single we released.
Which I saw a clip of, like a little bitty snippet. Bro. Oh my God, that thing is massively big. Like, I can't wait for it to be released.
Shout out to Daniel Boone,
Ian,
who shot it. Ian Ellington, who ran the light. So we rented it, ACA downtown Lafayette. Jules LeBlanc.
I love you, Cher.
I only saw like maybe 15 seconds of that video, and like I'm just jonesing to see the rest of it.
So we're gonna put it out like right before the album comes out. It's gonna be like the final push, really just celebrate this record coming, and we're gonna put it out there. We're gonna put it on the table, as they would say.
Yeah, we're gonna lay that thing on the table, man. If you like it, go ahead and get you a piece. If you don't, whatever, And that's the thing too.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville.
We built up so much hype around this thing, and we put so much into it. It is what it is. We're not going to be pissed off if nothing happens. We're not going to be pissed off if we don't sell all these units right away.
I'm going to be kind of upset.
I mean, we'll be upset, but like at the end of the day, we know we're not doing it for the money. We're doing it because we love doing it, and we're just going to continue to do it as long as we can. As long as there's riffs in us, we're going to put them out.
Yeah, y'all check it out. Spotify, man. If you're on
All
Spotify,
platforms.
Apple Music, whatever, just check it out, man.
Yeah, a lot of the singles are out right now, and then the next single will be available with the Get Down.
If you want it bad enough and you can't afford it, we will give it to you. Straight up.
I got them downloaded.
Yeah, I mean, straight up. Music should be for everybody. I'm not saying you got to go pirate the shit, but, you know, if you want it bad enough, you believe in what we're doing, you know.
It'll come around with somebody else, like with something else. Somebody will support you, buy that shirt because you had that generosity to share your music with them. Yeah. So
I can't wait to edit the Get Down. That's going to be a fun video.
A lot in that one. Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe we'll do some more videos. We'll see. But we just want to get on the road and play this thing live because that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
We want to get out there and spread the music to the people and get on stage and do what we do.
If you want us in your town, hit us up. We'll come down there.
VermilionWhiskey.com.
VermilionWhiskey.com. Hit us up. We'll come down there in the Bougie Express and bring hot, fresh riffs and meats and all that good stuff.
A whole bunch of merch. There you go.
Merch. A lot of merch.
Guys, thank you all so very much for this hour.
I had a lot
Maybe
of fun.
a little bit more than an hour, I guess.
I didn't time it.
I ain't keeping track of time.
I didn't keep track of time either. It was just
It's
fun.
only been 10 minutes.
Fun. I'm so used to saying an hour because of the Louisiana Loud Hour, but nonetheless, thank you for the hour. Thank you for the time because it was.
Thank
great.
you, man.
So.
We appreciate everything you do, Chris. We appreciate everything you do too.
Thank you very much, Chris.
You the man.
Next time we bring us some whiskey.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Anything else, guys? Anything that we missed? I think we covered everything. It was pretty natural how we kind of just rolled through it all.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we've been doing this how long?
Chris, what's the roll time on it?
We're at an hour and a half, but I mean, y'all probably kind of discussed for, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 minutes at the beginning.
All right, yeah.
About an hour, 15 hours.
It's pretty good, man.
I thought it'd be 30 minutes.
My mom was a big fan of Vicks back in the day. Like Vicks fixed everything in our house. And Vicks fixed everything in Cecilia.
Put that on your chest. Put that on your chest.
Oh yeah.
On your nose.
My grandma wanted to put it under your feet.
Yep.
What it would do, I have no idea, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Under your feet.
Put it under your feet with some socks on, bro. Yep.
You were better the next day.
Yep.
I should put a camera.
Oh, you got a tumor? Vicks have and socks.
Put some Vicks have on there.
Yo.
Do you want to be in this?
Nah, dude, on.
He's got the voice.
Had a humidifier.
No, we only have 4. I only got 4 inputs anyway. Okay. Anybody need a water or something?
I'm good. I'll sip on this monster.
Appreciate it.
I'll actually take one.
I should have brought some Pedialyte. Sponsored by
Biofreeze and Pedialyte.
If you look on the Vermilion Whiskey website,
it's in their sponsors.
We have Pedialyte on there.
Pedialyte.
And Bougie Baloney.
BC powder.
It's bougie, baby.
Yeah.
One more time.
100% bottle free.
It's bougie, baby.
Yeah. Shameless. Oh my
When
God.
Ross told me he was making bologna, I was like, okay.
It's full of bologna.
No, I was like, okay, let's see.
It's crazy watching it go
bologna.
from to like, hey man, I'm thinking about, hey, you want to try some? Hey, no, I'm the bougie man.
Ross, this can mix it down in separate tracks too. Is that cool?
Oh,
Like to where each mic will be its own track.
that was even better.
Yeah.
The song I heard the other day. Oh